Now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will be learning now the functions of blood. What are the different functions of blood? In the last class, we have discussed about the composition of blood. Now we'll be discussing about the functions of blood. Any idea what will be the function of blood?
to prevent us from getting any disease.
Okay, good. So
And
they will be acting as a defense mechanism against the disease. So defense against the diseases they will be working. Okay. Then what else apart
transportation
from
of
that?
oxygen, CO2.
Okay, great. So they will be helping in the transportation of oxygen and the CO2 also. And then what is the third one? Then transportation of the food also will be done by the blood. This will also be done by the blood. Then chemical coordination. So whatever the reactions are happening or whatever the chemicals are there in our body, among themselves, they will be doing the coordination. That is what the chemical coordination. That will be done by the blood. Then the next is the temperature regulation. So whatever the temperature our body needs, that will be regulated because of this blood. So temperature regulation is another function of the blood. Then the next function is the water balance in the body. So water,
Ma'am, can you show the previous page once?
yeah. So functions of the blood, defense against the diseases. So against the diseases, they'll be working. They will be helping in transporting the oxygen and CO2 gases. Then the transportation of food will be done by the blood. Chemical coordination will be done by the will be carried out by the blood.
Okay, ma'am.
Then the temperature regulation, water balance will be done by the blood. And the most important is transportation of the waste products. Whatever the waste products are generated in our body, they will also be transported from one place to the other place with the help of the blood. So this is a 3-mark question. At least 6 points you should write. So defense against diseases, transportation of the oxygen and CO2, transportation of food, chemical coordination, temperature regulation, water balance, transportation of the product. So these all things will be done by the blood. Out of this, if I talk about the RBC, red blood cells, the major function of the red blood cell is the transportation of the oxygen and CO2 gases. Whereas WBC major function is they fight against the diseases. They fight against the diseases. And then platelets, the major function of the platelet is to it helps in the it helps in the clotting of blood. So these are the function of the RBC, WBC, and platelets. So RBC exchange of the gases like O2 and CO2. The WBC they will be fighting against the diseases, and platelets they will be helping in the clotting of blood. Done, children?
I'm writing, ma'am. Please write.
Okay, okay.
I'm done. Ma'am.
Okay. So now very, very
1 minute,
important
ma'am.
topic. Okay,
Last point.
okay. Shall I start?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Now, very, very important topic we are going to discuss, children. It's every year, 3 marks, we are asking this. So listen to this carefully and then I'll give you the time to write it. Okay. So blood vessels. Blood vessels, the types of the blood vessels are very, very important. Every year for 3 marks, they're asking this same question again and again. That write the difference between the arteries, veins, and capillaries. Or to write the difference between the arteries and veins. So for that, we should know what they are. So they are basically the blood vessels. Now, what are the blood vessels? So you might have seen in your home, right? For making the tea, your mother will be using a different kind of the vessel. For making the rice, she will be using a different kind of the vessel, right? For making the chapati, she'll be using different kind of tawa, right? So each and every food item will have the different kinds of the vessels. Same way, the blood vessels are the network of tubes. What they are? They are the network of tubes through which blood is pumped around the body. So they are also like the vessels or the tube-like structures through which what happens? The blood will be pumping around the body. So they will be pumping, taking pumping from the heart, giving to the body, from the body to the heart. So like this, the blood vessels, they play a very, very important role. Fine. So before going to this, two words are there, oxygenated and deoxygenated. Do you know what is the difference between both oxygenated and deoxygenated means?
Ma'am, one which
Yes,
carry
sir.
oxygen, another which does not carry oxygen.
Okay. So oxygenated blood, which is basically rich in
Blood.
oxygen, no, rich in oxygen actually, and deoxygenated blood, which is rich in carbon
CO2.
dioxide. Yeah, correct. CO2. So this is again an important question to define the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood is the type of blood where it is rich in the oxygen, and deoxygenated blood, it is rich in the carbon dioxide blood. Okay. Now moving to the very, very important part, which are the types of blood vessels. Types of blood vessels.
Can you show the previous?
So yeah, Abhinav, just give me, let me complete this topic, then I'll show you that. So here, what happens? Three different vessels we have. The first one is the arteries. The second one are the veins, and third one are the capillaries. So these are the three different vessels, blood vessels, arteries, veins, and capillaries. So about these, we will be learning the differences now. Okay, very, very important. Now, starting with the arteries, what do? They carry blood away from the heart. They carry blood away from the heart. So whatever the blood is there, they will be taking it away from the heart. Whereas the veins will be working opposite way. They carry blood where? Towards the heart. Fine. The arteries will be carrying it away or taking it away, or veins will be carrying it towards the heart. Whereas the capillaries, they will be linking the arteries to the vein. So basically, they are the kind of link between the arteries and veins. Fine. So arteries, they will be carrying blood away from the heart, veins towards the heart, and capillaries, they will be linking arteries to the veins. Now, second difference is they always carry the oxygenated blood. So if I say they carry the oxygenated blood, what it means? Which kind of blood they will be carrying? Very good, rich in O2. Whereas the veins will be carrying deoxygenated blood, which means what type of blood it will be?
Less
It
CO2.
will be
Less
no
O2.
more CO2. We get less O2 and more CO2. Right? Now in this one, what they will be doing here, they will be carrying both. The first part of capillary, the first part, they contain oxygenated blood, whereas the last part contains the deoxygenated blood. So they will be having both the type of blood. The first part will have the oxygenated, the last part will have the deoxygenated blood. So arteries, they will be carrying the oxygenated blood, the veins will be carrying the deoxygenated blood, and capillaries, they will have both. The first part will have the oxygenated and the last part will have the deoxygenated blood. Now coming to the very important difference. As I said, arteries will be carrying only the oxygenated blood, but there is one artery which carries the deoxygenated blood, and the name of that artery is pulmonary artery. Pulmonary. So, pulmonary artery is the only artery which carry what kind of blood? Deoxygenated blood. Though in the last point I said they will be carrying only the oxygenated blood, but only pulmonary artery is the only artery which carries the deoxygenated blood. Very important question for the 1 mark. Name the artery which carries the deoxygenated blood. The answer is pulmonary artery. Now, same way, in the last point, we have discussed that the veins will be carrying the deoxygenated blood, but only the pulmonary vein is the vein which carries the oxygenated blood. So, pulmonary vein is the only vein which carry oxygenated blood. Fine. And here they will have both oxygenated also, deoxygenated also. Am I clear with the second and third point?
Yes, ma'am.
Others?
Yes.
Sudhamshu,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Meher,
Yes.
Shayan, Daria. So oxygenated blood arteries always will be carrying, but the only arteries which carry the deoxygenated blood is the pulmonary artery, and always the veins will be carry deoxygenated blood except the pulmonary vein. So note it down, then we will be going to the next one.
Ma'am, so
Yeah,
can you show the next page, ma'am?
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Done, children?
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, in a capillary, you have written that it links artery and veins. So how can we differentiate which one is the first part and which one is the last?
In the diagram, you can actually differentiate. So when we are going to learn in the diagram, so easily you can identify which is the first part, which is the last part. Okay. Fine. So there you will be able to identify how the oxygenated blood is getting converted into deoxygenated blood. So that is how you will be able to identify the first and the last part of the blood capillary.
Okay, ma'am.
So I'll go to the next one. Children, I'll
Writing.
share this. Okay,
I'm
write it
writing.
fast. Right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So, and the next difference is in the arteries, the pressure of blood is high. So, see, there is a difference between blood pressure and pressure of blood. Okay. So don't mix together both the things. Pressure of blood means the blood flows with a high kind of force. That is what pressure of blood is. Okay. So, pressure of blood is high here, whereas in the vein, the pressure of blood is low. So the flow of blood is less with the less force here. And the last one in the capillaries, the pressure is falling. The pressure keeps on falling here. So arteries, pressure will be high. The blood pressure, not the blood pressure, the pressure of blood will be high. Whereas in the veins, it will be low. And in the case of the capillaries, it will be falling. And that is the reason that arteries, they have what? They have the thick wall. Okay. So this is again a reasoning type question. Why does the arteries, they have thick wall? So this is what the next difference also. The arteries, they have,
Ma'am, last point I was writing.
okay,
Thank you.
so pressure of blood is high, pressure of blood is low, pressure is falling. And since the pressure of blood is high in the arteries, that is the reason that they have the thick wall. The wall of them is thick. Yeah.
Ma'am, what's the third one, ma'am? Pressure is falling.
Pressure is falling means the pressure does not, the force is not there. In while the blood is going, the force is not there. That is why we say that the pressure is falling down.
You will share this PDF, right?
Yeah, I'll be sharing. I'll be sharing the
Can I
PDF.
write it then?
Yeah, there, then you can write it. Then there from there. So that is why here the arteries have thick wall. Very important question. The reason I have given you in the last point. If they ask you why does the arteries have thick wall, the answer will be since the pressure of blood is high in the arteries, that is why they have what? They have the thick wall. Whereas the veins have thin wall. Now, why do the vein have the thin wall? Why
Because
does the vein have?
So,
pressure of blood is low.
Yeah, so because the pressure of blood is less, is low. That is the reason that they have the thin wall. Now, in the last one, in the capillaries, they should have the thick or thin wall.
Ma'am, neither thick nor
They have actually the extremely thin walls. Okay, they have extremely thin walls because the pressure is reducing, is falling down. That is why they have the extremely thin wall. Very important question. Why does the capillaries have the extremely thin wall? So since the pressure of blood is very less, that is why they have the extremely thin wall there. So I'll just revise this again. Arteries, they will be carrying blood away from the heart. Veins will be carrying towards the heart. Capillaries, they will be linking arteries to the veins. Then arteries, they will be always carrying the oxygenated blood. But the only artery which carries the deoxygenated blood is the pulmonary artery. And the veins always carry the oxygenated blood. But the only vein which carries the oxygenated blood is the pulmonary vein. And in the case of the capillaries, the first part will be carrying the oxygenated blood, whereas the last part will be carrying the deoxygenated blood. Then in the arteries, the pressure of blood is high, whereas in the vein, the pressure of the blood is low. And in the capillaries, the pressure is very less there. That is the reason the arteries have thick wall, the veins have thin wall, and the our capillaries will have the extremely thin wall. Am I clear, children, with all these points?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So after this, we have the next point, which is the flow of blood. So as we have discussed here, the blood flow is rapid. Rapid means fast. So the blood flow is rapid through artery. So they at a fast speed they will be going. Whereas in the veins, the blood flow is slow through veins. And in the capillaries is also blood flow is slow. So in the arteries, the blood will be flowing at a rapid speed or the high speed, whereas in the veins and the capillaries, the blood will go with a constant or the slow speed.
Ma'am, I think pressure and speed are about same thing. Similar.
Which one?
Pressure and speed.
Pressure and speed. See, pressure is something with a very, very force, like we are talking about, okay? And here they are talking about the flow of the blood.
Okay, ma'am.
So if you're talking about the car has a speed, right? We are not putting pressure on the car, correct? But if I talk about I need to make a chapati, then I need to put a pressure for making the dough or to rolling or to making, to make the chapati. So speed is different somewhere and the pressure is different. Still, we are remaining with children few of the points we will be discussing in the next class. And as you might have seen the message also, I have requested you all to share the photograph of you with your mother. Okay, any good pics, you are eating together, you are maybe playing together, you're sitting together, you're reading together. Any good pic of yours with your mother, you need to share with me personally, so that we can give a small surprise to you all your mothers. Okay. So do share it with me by today so that we can work on it. And on Sunday, we will be releasing that to our channel. Okay. All should share it, children. It is for your mother. Okay. So whosoever is there in today's class, compulsory you
could-
have to share. Aryan, Abhinav, Ayunija, Siddharth, Dhairya, Dhriti, Meher, Shubhansh, and Sudhamshu. Sudhamshu has already shared with me. Others, everybody has to share the pic of your mother with you. Not only with mother, not only of your mother, with you it should be.
Ma'am, could you show the first page, ma'am?
So do that. And children, if you can share a 30-second video also thanking to your mother, please do share that also. Just a 30-second video where you are thanking to your mother or saying maybe a poem to her or maybe a song you
Thank
want
you,
to
ma'am.
dedicate, so that you also can share by tonight. Okay. Okay, children, and that's it for today. Just share it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.